quality teams. Obviously, teams a lot of people have heard
returns to lead the always pesky Wisconsin defense. This season, Indiana has turned its defense up a notch. The Hoosiers have limited their opponents to 36% shooting. Only once has an opponent topped the 40% mark. Every point will be precious as the curtain rises on two of the Big Ten's biggest and best.
3.8, very unusual for a big guy. Let's take a look at number 50, Big Bershaw. He's their best talented offensive player. There you see some nice moves inside. Indiana will have to figure out a way to stop them. 6'8" junior Andy Kowski, number 15, is a great shooter from the outside. He's made 26 of his last 38 shots from the outside. For Indiana, it's A.J. Guyton. Here's 3 game totals against ranked teams that Indiana's played this year, averaging almost 25 points a game, shooting 57% from the field. However, when Indiana's played unranked teams, Guyton's scoring average goes way down, as does his field goal percentage. But Wayne, as you know, in Big Ten, every game is a big game.
No question about it. Tonight is no exception. A.J. Guyton, great smooth outside shot, John.
And Indiana wants to get him to drive more. Here you see he can do it. That also helps him get to the free throw line when he's able to become a more double-dimensional basketball player.
Senior Michael Lewis, he is the trigger of the Indiana offense. It's the Hoosiers and the Badgers. The Big Ten opener coming up. You're watching.
The starting lineups are brought to you by Sagamore Health Network. Caring, compassionate, and cost-effective. John?
There you see for Wisconsin, Roy Boone, Mike Kelly, and Dwayne. They like the 3-guard offense. Kelly, the defensive player of the year in the Big Ten last year as a sophomore. He'll have the assignment on A.J. Guyton. Andy Kowski, the big man inside. For Indiana, A.J. Guyton, their leading scorer. Dane Fife, a sophomore, great on the steals. Michael Lewis, usually a sub, but has been scoring so well, he's inserted in the starting lineup. Lynn Washington and Kirk Haston round out the Hoosier starting 5.
Bob Knight, in his 29th season here in Bloomington, college basketball's winningest active coach with 753 victories. The opening tip is coming up next. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+. It's got to be fast. It's got to be Max.
For Wisconsin, they've got to stop A.J. Guyton. He likes big games like this one, and he loves to take that outside shot. If he gets started early from the outside, look out, he'll have a big night. And they've got to find some offense. They're a great defensive team, but their leading scorer only 12 points a game. No one else in double figures. Wisconsin's got to figure out a way to score some points. For Indiana, they've got to see if they can get some fast break points, some easy baskets before Wisconsin gets a chance to set up their defense. And foul trouble. The Indiana's big men are suspect in the foul trouble area. When they get in foul trouble, they come to the bench, and it hurts them on the offensive end.
Laz, part of the factor as you take a look at this ball game is Wisconsin has got to prevent Indiana from getting off on runs. The Hoosiers have done a great job, as you well know, each game this season of getting on a 10-0 run or a 19-3 run, something like that, that will break open a close game, and that's something that Wisconsin can ill afford as you get a look at their mark in Big Ten openers.
And Wisconsin has not won here in Bloomington since 1977, so it's been a long time coming. You
weren't playing back then, now,
I had just gotten out at 75.
Here's the opening tip. Indiana, the home whites. Wisconsin to the traveling Reds, and we're underway. Great to have you with us for this Big Ten opener. Michael Lewis, A.J. Guyton, Lynn Washington, Dane Fife, Kirk Haston on the floor for Indiana. There's that scrappy defense by Wisconsin. They forced the first turnover of the ball game. Kelly dug it out of there. Michael Kelly, Roy Boone, and Dwayne, a product out of Bloomington, Indiana. His parents both teach here at the university. Roy Boone, good outside shooter on most nights. And Michael Lewis, the rebound. Boone was a high-scoring guard in prep ranks. Opening minutes of play in the first half.
Wisconsin wants Indiana to take its time on offense. There's Guyton. He doesn't drive often.
Guyton on the tip.
But Indiana coaches want Guyton to drive more, and there you see a good result for Indiana.
Charlie Wills on the move against Washington. Oh, nice speed. Boy, the big men for Wisconsin do a great job of passing. And that time, Andy Kowski able to finish.
And that's one of their keys is the passing. Charlie Wills played his high school ball here in Indiana as well. He's from Angola.
Guyton looking for room. Elevates for three. Bring it up.
exactly what gets him started. That first three-point shot he's made, the first 4 points, first 5 points for Indiana. He could be on his way to a big night.
Indiana by 3. Just underway in this opening half. Wills the screen. Dwayne, a streaky offensive player. On the drive, it won't go for Wills.
You can see Wisconsin wants to drive to the basket, see if they can get Indiana into some foul trouble.
Guyton had a look at it for 3, but again, Kelly jumped right on him. Great matchup there, Laz. Mike Kelly, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and A.J. Guyton, one of the top offensive stars of this conference.
That'll be the matchup to watch, Wayne. Which those guys comes out on top?
Right now, it is A.J. Guyton taking it to Mike Kelly. Guyton with 7 points. Make that 8 as they scored a three-pointer.
Kelly's doing what he can right up on Guyton, but he just got that one to roll in.
Dwayne looking for room. John Bryant up off the bench for Wisconsin. He'll be coming in momentarily. Indiana's really extended that defense. Boone penetrates. Offensive foul. Dane Fife had possession. Roy Boone picks up the offensive foul.
And that's the game Fife really likes to play. He's a hard-nosed player, leading the team in steals. Look at that history now. Indiana's won 34 of the last 34 games, and that's why they have that big lead. It's been since Wisconsin last won in '97 up in Madison.
Vershaw comes in along with Bryant as Boone and Wills have a seat on the Wisconsin bench. There's Mark Vershaw, one of the best passing big men, maybe the best passing big man in the Big Ten.
Not unusual for him not to start. He usually comes in off the bench, and they'll go to him right away.
Both coaches, Laz, have tinkered with their lineups. Guyton again, a good look from the outside. Washington, the long rebound. Lewis on the drive, had it blocked but a foul. Dwayne appeared to block it from behind. It might have been Bryant who got him with the body, but they're calling Dwayne on the foul.
Michael Lewis has been a big surprise for Indiana this year, averaging over 11 points a ball game. He's a left-hander, led the state in scoring his senior year here in Indiana, and he did it with moves like that, driving to the basket, drawing the foul. He's an excellent free throw shooter.
10 of 11 against Kentucky, and IU's 83-75 win in December, back in early December.
That's another $50 for the Indiana University General Scholarship Fund from Union Planners Bank. This season, Union Planners will donate $50 for every free throw that the Hoosiers make.
The left-hander puts in on a pair. Indiana has scored 10 of the first 12 points in the game.
Talked about those runs, and it's been a pattern almost every game for Indiana. A big run like this to break the game wide open.
Indiana has really stepped up its defense this season, Laz. This is one of the better defensive clubs Bob Knight has had in recent years. Dwayne drains a tray.
And that's what he can do. Still the all-time leading scorer here at Bloomington North High School. And of course, Indiana has a recruit from that very high school coming here. One of the top 5 players in the country, Jared Jeffers.
Off the ball. Got a foul coming up against Indiana. Tom Rucker with the call. Foul is on Haston, his first of the game. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Help, but then Guyton gets his head turned around and misses the cutter coming in for an easy basket.
And again, you see the good passing by the big men for Wisconsin. That's something they're known for under Dick Bennett. Wisconsin down by 5 with the ball. This is Mike Kelly, guarded by A.J. Guyton. John Bryant, picked up by Lewis. Gets the screen from Charlie Wills. Now Kelly. Wills left unattended. Washington was flying at him, but not before Wills was able to get it away.
Good step-up shooter is Wills, 6'8", 230. Again, he's in there to bang it around inside, and some extra points will be a plus for him.
Both teams shooting at 60%. Wisconsin has run off 5 straight points since Indiana grabbed a 10-2 lead. Good inside position by Washington, unable to finish in among the trees. Vershaw the rebound. Here comes Kelly. Charlie Wills. 5 minutes gone by, first half here in Bloomington. Indiana's lead has shrunk to 3.
Vershaw, a smaller man on him. He knows he wants to take the move to get open.
Haste in the rebound. This is Guyton. Well, the thing about this matchup with Guyton and Kelly, Laz, is that it's on both sides because Guyton's guarding Kelly on the other end. You don't often see that in a matchup on the floor.
No.
Washington was fouled on the drive.
Wisconsin really puts their defense back into the 3 secondary, and it's caused Indiana some problems on the post-up. Indiana's trying to counter that by driving into the lane.
Here's the foul here on Vershaw. Good quick turn by Lynn Washington. So Washington at the free throw line. Misses his first, he'll have another. Washington, the lone junior college transfer on this Indiana team, played at San Jose City College. Duaney has a seat on the bench, has a 3-point field goal, and Kirk Penny, a freshman who's looked good for Wisconsin, steps into the lineup. 1 out of 2 for Washington at the line. Indiana by 4. Charlie Wills, high banker. Vershaw the rebound. Very little room on Washington. Haste in the rebound. Guyton picked up by the omnipresent Kelly.
He stays right with Guyton there and then comes up with the steal.
And Kelly fouled by Washington on the drive. Well, Kelly always among the league leaders in steals. And this season no exception.
Let's watch how Kelly does it. He's got his hands moving all the time. He slaps the ball, then quickly recovers to it, picks it up, and the foul from behind.
24 steals in the last 6 games for Mike Kelly. That was his first here tonight.
And he tied a Big Ten record with 10 against Texas this year. 10 steals in 1 game.
Vershaw turns on Washington. Air ball, and Michael Lewis on the run for Indiana.
Indiana will take the first quick shot if they can get it. That's a good one.
Lynn Washington running the post lane beautifully, and an excellent pass on the lead from Lewis. Indiana reestablishes a 6-point advantage. Wills passed up the 3. Now John Bryant. Here's Kelly. Kirk Penny. Nice entry into Wills down low. Wisconsin getting some shots at point-blank range, Laz, but unable to finish here in this early going.
Wisconsin's getting the ball in there way too easy on the block. They haven't converted the last 2 times on the shot, but Indiana needs to prevent that ball from coming in there. Wisconsin will start to make those shots.
On the pass to the back door, Mike Kelly guilty of holding A.J. Guyton. Kelly picking up his first personal foul. Vershaw has a seat on the bench. Linton comes on along with Andy Kowski. Charlie Wills goes to the bench.
Let's watch Indiana now. The last time they tried the alley-oop play, and goes to Washington.
A.J. Guyton makes good on a pair at the line. Kelly to Linton.
Wisconsin runs a high offense. That is so they can get some drives to the basket. They settle for the outside shot this time.
Kowski working the board. Pass intended for Linton, knocked away by Washington. Here comes Lewis. Haston. He's got a pretty nice little jump shot within about 10 feet, it looks like, Laz, and has a nice touch inside. Got a foul coming up on the rebound here.
Yes, he likes that shot anywhere from 10 feet. He's also got a nice little hook shot that we haven't seen yet, but he's worked on that over the summer. But also by Fife to get that rebound.
A.J. Guyton going to the free throw line, or I should say lining up the free throw line, but they're going to inbound this as Luke Jimenez comes in for Guyton. Guyton gets a break. Early scoring by A.J. Guyton in this ball game has moved him into 6th place on Indiana's all-time scoring list. Here's Lewis.
cutting by Indiana.
Washington in close, got fouled on the play. Maurice Linton picks it up.
Let's take a look from underneath. Washington gets good position and then takes that big, gathers himself to take that big leap in the air and draws the foul. See, Indiana took A.J. Guyton to the bench. There'll be a timeout here at the 12-minute mark, so it gives them a little extra rest. And Guyton will probably get right back in the game for Indiana.
Washington makes good on his first.
That's another $50 for the Indiana University General Scholarship Fund from Union Planners Bank. This season, Union Planners will donate $50 for every free throw that the Hoosiers make.
Washington makes good on a pair of free throws. 12:04 left to go in this first half. Indiana back to a 10-point lead.
So we've seen Indiana with two different runs. One to start the game. Wisconsin got back on the board, and now Indiana stretched that lead back out to 10. Larry Richardson, another big man for Indiana, 6'9", in there for the Hoosiers.
I'm anxious to see Jeffrey Newton as well. He looks like a pretty good prospect for this Hoosier team.
Well against North Carolina in that big game for Indiana.
Teron Davis has come on now for Wisconsin. He's got the ball right now. Here's Wills. Guarded by Richardson. Now Kowski out front. Haston on him.
You're right about Indiana's defense. They're only giving up 63 points a game this year. It's about 8 points lower than they gave up last year. They've really concentrated on the D.
Boone off the mark. Lewis on the run.
Wisconsin does a nice job getting back. They love to set up that half-court defense because they know it's so much harder for teams to score against them.
Haston, beautiful feed to the baseline, and Kirk Haston's first field goal gives Indiana its biggest lead of the night. 11:10 to go first half. Indiana draws to a 12-point advantage over Wisconsin. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN Plus. From the ATA High Flyers.
Indiana beats Wisconsin down the floor and ends up in a nice shot for Lynn Washington. A lot of substitutions as usual for Dick Bennett. He brings guys in. Now this is third time now that Charlie Wills has been in the ball game, and we've only played 9 minutes.
Indiana on a 9-0 run in the last 4:32. So we've seen the streaks. 10-2 to start the game. 9-0 in the last 4:32 by Indiana. Boone to Kowski. Good catch by Kowski in traffic.
Right. Wisconsin again, they get the ball inside, and that's where they can score, or the big men also do a nice job. They dish that ball out for a 3-point shot.
Wisconsin working hard on the defensive end. A.J. Guyton back in the game. Got halfway between a shot and a pass. Richardson in traffic. Traveled on the play.
That was set up by Kelly's defense. He really bothered Guyton, and he had to make the pass instead of taking the shot. Indiana turnover.
Another break of the action. 10.5 to go first half. Indiana leads by 10. Wayne Larrabee, John Laskowski back at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Great to have you with us tonight on this Big Ten curtain raiser. Indiana leading in the first half of the first half by 10. There is John Mellencamp.
Real basketball fan, sports fan, really. He lives about 20 miles south of the campus here and attends as many Indiana football and basketball games as he can.
Still does the best rock and roll I have ever heard.
Oh, and he did a New Year's Eve show at the new Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. I didn't get to go, but boy, that must have been hot.
I'll bet you they blew the roof off of that place. Andy Kowski connects from the outside. He has 6 points. Wisconsin trying to hang in there, trailing by 8.
You know, that may be their best trait, Wayne. They hang in the ball game. Indiana tries to pull away, but with tough defense, as you're seeing right here, it's hard for teams to pull away from the Badgers.
You know, coaches will tell you they preach defense so much because defense comes to play every night. Your offense will come and go. A.J. Guyton connecting there. He has 10. But your defense should be there every night.
And it is for the Badgers, that's for sure.
Boone to Kelly. Vershaw. against Washington. Kershaw has come up short on a number of occasions. Washington, good solid position defense on the post. Guyton, a little stop and go, bumps with Kelly, and a blocking foul coming up on Mike Kelly, and that puts Wisconsin over the limit. Mike Kelly's second personal.
That could have a big effect on this first half. 17 fouls now for Wisconsin, only 2 for Indiana, and the Hoosiers go to the line.
Boone leaves, and back into the lineup, John Bryant for Wisconsin. A.J. Guyton, there he is, just moved into 6th spot, the all-time scoring list.
He was 1 behind Kent Benson, 2 behind Damon Bailey. So with that first 3-point shot he hit, that was it. He went right by those 2 guys.
This is some pretty big names here in Indiana basketball history. 12 for A.J. Guyton, and he will be a big name as well when it's all said and done. Indiana's lead is 23-11. And Kelly gets a break after picking up his second personal foul. Trevon Davis with the basketball in the lineup now for Wisconsin.
And that's a big foul for Kelly because he may not get to see any more first half action.
Kowski nearly traveled with it, nearly carried the basketball. Here's Bryant. Ten to go on the shot clock for Wisconsin. Knocked away nicely by Fine. Guyton the pull-up and hits.
That's the advantage of the turnovers. You get the numbers going the other way, and Guyton makes a one-on-one move to score again.
A.J. Guyton with 14, 5 of 7 from the field.
Well, you can see Kelly back in the ball game already, so just a short break. Dick Bennett doesn't want this thing to get any more out of hand.
Indiana's lead is 14, biggest lead of the night for either team. Mark Bershaw. Here's Kowski. Now Mike Kelly. Bershaw denied down low on the block.
That's Richardson again. That's twice now. Bershaw's got the ball inside. Richardson's been able to block the shot.
Luke Jimenez in the game now. Fife and Kelly got tangled up. That left Guyton wide open for a major league 3.
That was a rainbow. That one very high because he was so far out. And this crowd is on its feet now, and a timeout.
Third tray of the night for A.J. Guyton. 8:13 to go in the first half. Indiana's lead is 17, and this 30-second timeout brought to you by Arvin Industries.
And there you see the all-time Division I coaching victories. Bob Knight has moved up to 6th place and should catch Ed Diddle, the great coach from Western Kentucky, here yet this year. And then on up the ladder, Dean Smith, 879 career victories.
Boy, Adolph Rupp, Henry Ibe on that list. My goodness. It's hard to believe that many people have more coaching victories than Coach Knight, but when you consider the caliber of the names ahead of him on that list, no surprise in reality.
Let's take a look at that last 3-pointer by Guyton. There's the block by Fife. Kelly falls down. Guyton can't believe he's that wide open. He's a little far out, but hey, I'm hot. Let me shoot it.
Hey, on the next level, that's 3.
17 points for Guyton in the first half.
John Bryant's a good 3-point shooter, but not that time. Going to belong to Wisconsin, apparently. Last touch by Dane Fife, although Tom Rucker overrules Jerry Petro as the officials work together to get the call right.
That's Fife again. He leads the team in steals for Indiana, and that ball nearly going out of bounds. He deflects it off the Wisconsin player. Very hard-nosed, tough kid is Fife, and a better offensive game this year for the Hoosiers.
Missed the Hoosier Classic with the flu symptoms last week. Off the ball, got a foul coming up here, and it's on Indiana.
Indiana sets a lot of screens. Occasionally you're going to get that call for the moving screen. That's what happened there.
Foul is on Larry Richardson. It's his first. We've got a break. 7:55 to go in the half. Indiana leading big. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+. Among those in attendance, Kent Benson.
Just saw him move down the notch one as Guyton went past him. Benson, of course, played here on the 76 National Championship team. There's the banner that flies high, then became the #1 pick in the NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wisconsin resumes offensively, trailing 28-11. So Dick Bennett's greatest fear has come true. His team has slipped well behind the Hoosiers in this first half.
Oh, great move that time. Kirk Penny stop and go and then made the shot with the left hand.
Kirk Penny is the freshman, and Coach Bennett's son discovered him playing over in Auckland, New Zealand. Playing in an adult league over there. He's a freshman at Wisconsin now. And again, off the ball, got a whistle on the play. This one's going against Wisconsin.
See, with Kelly on the bench, that puts John Bryant on A.J. Guyton. Guyton running him off some screens. Bryant picked up the foul.
Second personal on John Bryant. A.J. Guyton heads to the free throw line. Both of these teams, Laz, like to do in their offense, like to do a lot of passing game, a lot of weaving. Defensively, they like to play man-to-man, and that makes for some collision of bodies away from the ball, and you're going to see a lot of calls off the ball.
And that's another $50 for the Indiana University General Scholarship Fund from Union Planners Bank. This season, Union Planners will donate $50 for every free throw that the Hoosiers make.
Guyton makes good on two. Guyton with 19 points in the game. Indiana's lead is 17. Trevon Davis to the reverse, and the tip won't go for Kowski. Wills the rebound, and now they reload the offense. Kirk Penny on the penetration, and he took down Tom Rucker too. Oh man, Ruck is holding his left hip. Veteran Big Ten official. Even Bob Knight over to have a look. Take a look. Let's see if we can pick it up here.
Well, he's making the call and moving up to the scorer's table, and then Penny got knocked down, and he was just kept moving. His momentum kept him going right into Rucker, and no way to avoid the collision.
So Tom will hang in there. Signals the foul to the scorer's table. Non-shooting affair, as that's only the fourth on Indiana, and the foul is called on Jeffrey Newton, who just reported on. So Kirk Penny on the inbounds. Dwayne off the quick release.
And that's what he likes to do, hit that three-point shot from the outside. That makes his mom happy. She's here in the crowd right behind the Wisconsin bench.
Indiana by 15. Fife trying to change direction on Penny. Luke Jimenez to reestablish some semblance of offense here. And apparently a illegal screen called on Jarrett Odell.
Again, trying to get Guyton open. Dwayne now draws the assignment on Guyton. And Jarrett Odell moving on that screen.
Laz, take a look at it again. Laz, have you seen more of an emphasis on these calls off the ball, especially this year?
Yeah, there sure has. I think the Big Ten officials do a good job to keep the game as honest and fair as they can, and it's one emphasis they've made this year.
Trevon Davis tried to force the pass. I don't think Wills was expecting it. Off the turnover, here come the Hoosiers. A.J. Guyton accelerates into the lane. Kowski takes off the rebound. Trevon Davis knocked out of bounds by Dane Fife. Good defense as he denied the pass to the wing. Kirk Penny was set at the line for a three-pointer.
That's why Davis is in there. He's their best penetrator. He gets that ball moving toward the hoop, and if somebody comes to help, he can dish it off.
Coming up on 6 minutes to go, first half. Wills right past Jeffrey Newton. On the rebound battle, got a foul coming up.
Well, Wisconsin likes to go to those boards. That time they picked the foul. Newton 6'9", 215. And he's the one who was fouled. He'll be at the line. Newton had a good game against Carolina. Scored 11 points in the final 8.5 minutes to help Indiana that victory.
Easton, as you can see, back on. Jeffrey Newton comes out. Bershaw into the lineup. Foul was on Kowski. It was his first, and Charlie Wills has a seat on the bench. Lynn Washington, 7 points in the first half. Talked about defense in this game, Laz, and it is a good defensive matchup. Indiana holding its opponents to about 36% field goal shooting, which is terrific defense. But Indiana also has the ability to score, averaging 81 points a game, and in fact led the Big Ten in scoring a year ago.
And they have done that most of the 90s. Lead the league. It's their defense that's hurt them. And this year they've really made an emphasis on the defense. Now they're holding opponents just 63 points a game.
Well, Dwayne putting on a little bit of a show for his hometown fans here in Bloomington. He has his second tray of the night, 8 points in the game.
Guyton with a post up.
Had it partially blocked by Dwayne. Haston double teamed. Here's Guyton. Lewis with 12 to go on the shot clock. Down to 7. Haston down to 4. Had it blocked by Kowski. Boy, that was a great 34 seconds of defense by Wisconsin.
That earns them the ball. That's their kind of game. Dick Bennett's pleased with that.
Kowski the open look. Vershaw the rebound. Penny on the drive. Lost the handle. Picked off by Fife. Hoosiers on the move. Washington, oh, quick turn baseline. Didn't finish. Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Roy Boone on the drive is fouled by Dane Fife.
You don't see Wisconsin fast break very often, but that block shot gave them the chance to drive the length of the floor, and Boone took advantage of it. Let's take a look here. Roy Boone, 6'3" junior, just right down the middle. Nobody stops him, and the foul on Fife.
6 fouls on Indiana. They called the foul on the floor, not while in the act of shooting. So a non-shooting affair. Wisconsin yet to shoot a free throw tonight. Kowski sets the screen. Boone goes back to Kowski to the left hand with a hook shot.
Boy, what a move there. It's moving to his right shoulder, which ends up being a left-handed hook shot over 6'9" Kirk Haston.
Wisconsin back to within 11, coming up on 4 minutes to go, first half.
See, when you play good defense, Wayne, you're never out of the game. Just it looked like Indiana was going to make a big run. Wisconsin's defense, they blocked some shots. There's the hook shot from Haston.
Good old-fashioned running hook shot off the baseline by Kirk Haston.
You know, both these teams, Wayne, play old school basketball. Defense, get your points where you can. There's a hook shot.
And how about Boone? Beautiful penetration and the easy feed for the flush by Andy Kowski. He's got 10. Lewis on the drive. Yes, and a foul. Yes, and it counts.
Well, you don't see that much in the Indiana offense as Lewis brings it all the way down. He's left-handed, though. It's a little easier on the left side for him, and gets a chance for a three-point play. Here he comes right at you. Gets the body contact. He's really had a wonderful senior year. He struggled in playing time and scoring up to this point, but now over 11 points a game, and still has a chance to be Indiana's all-time leading assist maker.
Boy, the Hoosiers have done a pretty good job in hitting their free throws. Just as I say that, they missed one. But again, as we mentioned, Wisconsin yet to get to the line in this first half. Bryant to Vershaw, got a hold down low as Vershaw got positioned inside.
See again, Wisconsin able to get that ball on the block where they want it.
Lynn Washington's second personal foul, 7 on the team, so the first free throws of the night coming up here for Mark Vershaw. Larry Richardson will be coming in after this free throw, perhaps. Mark Vershaw's first point of the night, and he came in as the leading scorer for the Badgers at just under 12 points a game. Matter of fact, the only Badger in double-digit scoring this season. Vershaw makes good on a pair. Well, John Laskowski mentioned these are a couple of good old-fashioned basketball teams. Watch this good old-fashioned move off the baseline. Big Ten basketball from ESPN+. Great to have you with us on this Big Ten opening night. Well, there's a return, I guess, you can go back home. Let's put it this way. Dwayne, a Bloomington native.
He sure has. Makes that long three-pointer, and that's his specialty, hitting that three-point shot in front of the hometown crowd.
Dwayne originally, he played his high school basketball here, originally from the Sudan.
Family moved here in '83 when he was just a youngster.
Well, good entry into Kirk Haston. That brought the foul on Charlie Wills, who tried to defend it. And Michael Lewis, boy, I tell you what, you know, he does the little things you don't really notice right off the bat that make this thing go.
Loves to make those assists on the passes. The scoring is really an extra boost. He's got 3.5 rebounds a game as well. He's just a hustling guy all over the floor. Big difference in Indiana's team this year.
Hoosiers have done a great job for the most part of the free throw line here tonight, as we showed you earlier. And they've become a better free throw shooting team this year, Laz. That's another one of the subtle keys to this club and its success so far. 10-1, a very surprising non-conference campaign. They played a tough non-conference schedule, did the Hoosiers. Their lone loss was to Indiana State.
And that definitely an upset, but they beat 3 ranked teams on their way before that defeat to Indiana State.
First field goal of the night for Mark Vershaw. He's got 4 points in the game. And again, Wisconsin down by 11. Lewis, great penetration, setting up Haston. Boy, it's easy when you got a guard like Michael Lewis.
He makes it look easy. It's not easy, Wayne. Don't drive it in there with all those big guys and letting a 6'9" guy come to you and drop that easy bounce pass. Lewis did it that time.
I meant it was easy for the big guy to finish it when you got a guy penetrating like that. Vershaw working a lot harder. Oh, beautiful move. That was a Kevin McHale type move to the baseline. Vershaw now with 6 points.
Boy, there's a Big Ten name out of the past. You're exactly right. He faked high, ended up going low with that long arm, got the layup.
Lewis in close.
Well, Lewis, 6'1". He posted up that time on Trevon Davis, only 5'10", got the basket.
So the offense picking up a little bit down the stretch here in this first half. Kirk Penny lost his pivot foot as he slipped and traveled on the play. Boone and Kowski along with Dwayne coming back on for Wisconsin.
Here's a good look at Dwayne. 6'5", 180 pounds.
And quick. I'll tell you what, he can get that jumper off in a hurry. If you blink, you might miss it. Off the hands of Guyton. Dwayne back the other way. Roy Boone. Hook shot won't go that time for Andy Kowski.
When Wisconsin takes that shot, even though it's close in, Indiana's got their hand up in the face, and Wisconsin having trouble from the field tonight. Indiana, though, shooting well, and that's the big difference in the game right now.
Off the turnover, Boone back the other way. Hanging jumper in the lane. Wouldn't go. Boone trying to stay with it. Cleared by Richardson. Fouled on the play.
See, Boone makes a nice drive to the hoop, and then even that short shot, not able to go for the Badgers tonight. That Dick Bennett, what can we do? We got the shot we wanted. It just didn't go in. He left from a little farther out than he probably wanted to. Banging around that rim, just can't go. And then Richardson, 6'9", outleaps Boone for the rebound.
Kowski picks up his second personal foul. 2 shots on everything down the stretch for Indiana.
Richardson only about 54% from the line. Hoosiers started out the year about 60% as a team from the free throw line. They've got it up to 70 now, but Richardson misses both that time.
(41-28) Indiana. Carry violation on Roy Boone as he made his move.
So that's another point of emphasis this year, Wayne, is the carry of the ball. Players grow up now doing that a lot more. They see it on TV a lot. But when it gives you an advantage, distinct advantage over your defender, they're going to call that as carrying the ball out of bounds the other team.
Hoosiers by 13. Under a minute to go, first half. Guyton looking to get baseline. Fife traveled. Made the up fake and traveled on the play.
He almost wanted to take that three-point shot, decided against it, and that hesitation caused him to move his feet.
Bob Knight not happy with that possession, obviously. Now John Bryant back into the lineup. Good three-point shooter for Wisconsin, replacing Roy Boone.
There you see the turnovers. Wisconsin with 7. They only averaged 10.5 for a game this year. So again, many more than they would like to see in this first half. Indiana with 9.
Indiana very high for them as well, as they've been very good with turnovers, 14.3 on the season, but they haven't committed more than 12 turnovers in a game in each of the last 3 games. Wills connecting from the outside. So it's an 11-point ball game inside of the final 30 seconds. First half. Indiana sets up for one last shot. No shot clock. Dane Fife not expecting the pass from Michael Lewis. 10 turnovers now for Indiana. Boy, this is going to give Bob Knight something to talk about at halftime.
And I'll tell you, that's one you hate to see. You want to run that clock down, take the final shot. Now Wisconsin has that chance.
Has a chance to close within single digits after trailing by as many as 17 in this game. Bryant for 3. Got the good look at it. Lewis able to pry it loose in the corner as time winds down in this first half of play. Indiana built healthy leads with several streaks of offense in that first half. 17 the biggest margin. They lead by 11 at halftime. We'll be back with our halftime activities. You're watching. Wayne Larrabee, John Laskowski, welcome back to Bloomington, where the Hoosiers lead as we get set to start the second half. Wisconsin has the basketball to begin. Kirk Penny and Mike Kelly, the backcourt tandem. Vershaw starting up front with Dwayne and Andy Kowski for Wisconsin. Penny to Kowski. Draws the first foul of the second half.
See, Wisconsin comes right back to the stuff they like to do. Get the ball inside of the big guys, make a move to the basket, and Indiana fouls Wisconsin at the line.
Hastings' second personal foul, and Kowski heads to the free throw line. Michael Lewis, Dane Fife, A.J. Guyton, and then you've got Lynn Washington and Kirk Hastings on the floor to start the second half for Bob Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers.
Indiana counts on their bench for a lot of scoring. Over 38% of the team's points come from the bench. First half, no points off the bench for Indiana.
Yet they're really on track to get their average last 41 first half points, and that's something that I'm sure drew the attention of Wisconsin coach Dick Bennett, who counts on his team holding the opposition well below their average points per game. Hastings with a hasty hook shot there. Vershaw. Washington on him defensively. Oh, coming over to help out Dane Fife, knocked it away, got poked in the eye for his efforts.
I'll tell you, the crucial part of the game right here, Wayne. Good help by Fife as he comes over and tries to make that steal, because Wisconsin needs to get back here quickly. They've already scored the first 2 points of the second half. They need a couple more quick possessions here and scores to get back in this game.
Traveling the call on Kowski as he received that pass in traffic. Early going second half. Wisconsin back to within 9. It's the first time they've been under a 10-point deficit since about midway through the first half. Off the ball in the lane. We've got a call coming up.
3 times now Indiana has been called for that screen away from the ball, and that's a credit to the Wisconsin defense. They're in good position, they're moving well, and they're getting that call a few times.
They got a 3-second violation on that one. Nonetheless, the turnover, Indiana, and a high night of turnovers for the Hoosiers when you consider what they've done over the last, especially the last 3 games, but overall this season, 14 turnovers a game. Penny from the outside for 3. Dwayne, good springs in those legs, reloads the offense. Kelly, good feed. Vershaw on the floater off the baseline. Nicely done.
Tough shot. Indiana brought some defenders over. Vershaw went up strong and got the hoop.
Badgers have scored the first 4 points of this second half, and now we get a foul off the ball. Fouls on Dwayne, his second personal.
take a look at the offense. Wisconsin. Kelly drives it in. Indiana comes to help. That means somebody's open. Vershaw makes that nice running hook shot.
A.J. Guyton left it short. Washington working hard down low, got fouled on the play. Foul is coming up on Kirk Penny, who reached in his first personal, second on the team.
That's why Washington is in there, to come up with those rebounds. He's a good defensive player and not meant to be scoring a lot, only 7 points a game, but he can score when he gets that ball inside.
Wynn misses on the first free throw. He had made 4 out of 6 in the first half. 1 out of 2 here in the second half, 9 points of the game. Opening 2 minutes, second half. Indiana's lead is 8. Wisconsin with the ball. Here's Kelly.
There you see Washington right up on Vershaw, bothers him.
Vershaw, as he made that spin move, lost the dribble off the foot of Kelly, out of play. Turnover, Wisconsin. Early going second half. Guyton for 3. Good position by Kirk Penny for the rebound. Mike Kelly moves it across.
Boy, a good open shot by Guyton. Indiana needs to get some offense. Wisconsin is right back in this game now.
Dwayne had it partially blocked, it appeared. Haston retrieves. Steal by Kelly. Great anticipation as a 2-on-1 feeds Penny right back to the veteran Kelly.
There's your defense. Creates the turnover, leads to the 2-on-1 break. Now a 6-point game.
Again, Indiana led by as many as 17 points on 2 occasions in the first half. They led by 11 at halftime. Double down from Kowski. Good feed into Haston, and the foul committed on the play. To deny Haston the easy slam inside. It's on Mike Kelly, and that's his 3rd.
That's a big foul by Kelly, as he does a great job on Guyton.
Make that 4 on Kelly. I misspoke there. 4 personal fouls on Kelly, 3 on the team. That's a huge foul on Kelly.
Now Dick Bennett's got a decision to make, whether you keep Kelly in there. You really have to pull him out. As he does, Boone comes in for Kelly.
Boy, you take the heart and soul out of your basketball team when that young man has a seat on the bench. Mark the score, a 6-point deficit when he went out.
Great leadership skills by Mike Kelly. Guy who hustles all the time. It's a tough job playing defense against the other team's best scorer all the time.
It takes a lot of energy, doesn't it? I mean, it just takes an awful lot out of you. Night in, night out. Almost 3 minutes into the second half. Dwayne rings up a tray.
His confidence way up tonight. He's in front of the home crowd where he went to high school, of course. But once you start to make that first shot, Wayne, it's so much easier to follow him up.
Isn't it, though? That rim gets bigger and bigger. Traveling the call as Washington jumped to the baseline. And then Washington perplexed, and Bob Knight roaring off the bench. Bob Knight saying, hey, he's ought to be able to jump stop. Nonetheless, another Indiana turnover gives it back to Wisconsin. The Hoosiers are leading by just 4. Dwayne, another 3. Nope, not this time. Kowski in traffic for the rebound.
Boy, the Badgers really go after that ball. Offensive rebounding has helped here in this second half.
Penny looking for help baseline. Washington picked his pocket. Lewis on the run. Guyton the lead on the drive. Denied on the block.
Great timing there. 2 Badgers up to block that shot. I think Kowski got it.
Boy, this has been quite a comeback by Wisconsin. The later stages of the first half, early going second half. Vershaw pushed as he hung with the jumper, and he'll go to the line.
Wisconsin does the simple things. The shot fake there gets Indiana out of position, and Vershaw goes to the line. Let's watch now as Penny gets the ball stripped by Washington. Indiana comes right back on the fast break, and Lewis does the right thing, gets it to his leading scorer. But boom, there it is. It was Dwayne with that block. He and Kowski both went up there.
The foul that has precipitated these free throws by Vershaw was on Luke Jimenez. It was his first personal foul. Now the second on Indiana. Haston leaves, and Larry Richardson back on. for the Hoosiers. Penny has a seat on the bench. And John Bryant is in for Wisconsin. Vershaw makes good on a pair. 10 points now for Mark Vershaw. Almost 4 minutes gone by in this second half. Indiana just 2 free throws on the board.
Just 2 points. And again, Wayne, the advantage of being a defensive-oriented team like Wisconsin, you're really never out of the game as they've come back from 17 points down.
Guyton on the drive off the heel of the rim.
Guyton's getting good shots. They just aren't dropping now, but he'll keep shooting them.
Boone had it stripped away. Guyton back the other way. Boone able to recapture for Wisconsin.
Did they say anything about defense yet in today's game?
Yeah, just a little bit. We're seeing just a little bit of that here.
Wow, twice in a row.
We're almost 5 minutes into the second half. Indiana 2 second half points. Bryant.
He thought about that three-pointer.
Wills on the drive. You know, the other factor that's happening here is offensive rebounding for Wisconsin. Indiana not taking care of the defensive board, and it's caused all kinds of problems.
Watch Bryant now. Guyton comes over to help. Nobody blocks out, and Wills goes right in and gets an easy rebound. Nobody watched him. Now, Wayne, I think the big play was when Indiana had the ball with about 25 seconds to go in the first half. They're setting up the last play, and they threw it away. Wisconsin had a chance to cut that lead. They missed that shot, but have taken that momentum right the last 30 seconds of the first half, have brought that momentum out here in the second half. They are 1 point down.
Wills to tie the game, and he gets it done. Well, the visitors from Madison have outscored the homestanding Hoosiers. 13-2 run by Wisconsin outside of the second half has tied the game. Let's check a previous play out on the Arvinator, brought to you by Arvin Industries.
Now this makes a good defensive player. Here's Kelly right here. He's going to make the steal. And here who he steals the pass from, that's Lewis. But look how far apart they are. And now watch how he makes up the difference. Boom, anticipation comes up with that steal. Now it's 2-on-1. Bucket for the Badgers.
John, the cornerstone of Dick Bennett's defensive philosophy is position and anticipation, and you saw the anticipation portion of it on that play right there, as you pointed out. Take a look at this comeback in the second half. A.J. Guyton. Luke Jimenez. Jumped in by Kirk Penny.
Indiana's got 5 seniors out there. This is a game where they need to have that experience to get this lead back, and there's a shot that's blocked. Wisconsin ball.
A.J. Guyton frustrated on that play. Penny off the screen by Kowski. Bryant gets a screen from Wills. And now Wills wide open off the baseline, and Wisconsin has the lead.
So you talk about the momentum. Wisconsin has it big time. Their bench is standing, and the few fans they have here are excited to see what Indiana does.
First lead of the night for the Badgers. Indiana yet to make a field goal here in the second half. We're almost 6 minutes into the second half. Richardson trying to force the feed at Jimenez, denied by Kirk Penny and knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Indiana with 10 to go, though, on the shot clock for the Hoosiers. Trevon Davis steps into the lineup for Wisconsin. And Roy Boone gets a seat on the bench. Michael Lewis on the trigger. Again, 10 on the shot clock for the Hoosiers here. Down to 5. A.J. Guyton to beat the clock. Beautiful move. No, but a foul on Bryant. Boy, that was a gorgeous move by A.J. Guyton, up and under. Third personal on John Bryant, 4th on the team.
And with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock, very important Indiana get it to Guyton. He's their best one-on-one player, and there was no shot there. He created it. Let's watch it now. It's a shot fake. That's the defender up. Can't get the shot, but he goes to the line.
Indiana has really cooled in this second half of play after shooting 62% in the first half. Vershaw back into the lineup. Kowski has a seat on the bench. Kowski had 2 points in the second half. He has 12 in the ball game. Much of Guyton's points came early in the contest. Boy, this has been a display of defense over the first 7 minutes of this half by Wisconsin. Indiana working hard on the defensive end as well. John Bryant, three, rimmed out. Rebounding foul coming up on Charlie Wills over the top. His second personal, 5 on the team.
That's not bad, though, by Wills. He wants to go in there and get those rebounds, and just the effort that he makes there is going to spur his team on.
With the crowd sensing the Hoosiers need some help here. Trailing by 1. Richardson had it poked away. Luke Jimenez sets it up. Lynn Washington driving baseline, now the fall away. The first field goal of the second half comes with 13:06 to go in the game.
That's a good move there. Wisconsin cut him off on the baseline, and he spin back to his left shoulder and hit the shot.
Tough shot. Bryant for 3, gets the lead right back for Wisconsin. John Bryant, ring him up.
And that's why he's in there. He gets about 2.3 3-point baskets made per game.
Jimenez.
Halfway there now.
And a collision on the rebound. Foul coming up against Indiana. Larry Richardson took down Charlie Wills. Second personal on Richardson. 4 on the team now.
Well, Wills seems to be okay. That's a tough spin, though. Watch the shot by Jimenez. Wills is up, and Richardson comes underneath him. Richardson may have padded the fall a little bit there.
Yeah, he patted his head. I think Wills would have hit his head hard on that play. He hit his hip hard enough, or his tailbone.
They both stay in the game. That's good news.
Almost 8 minutes gone by, second half. Trevon Davis blocked on the play by Richardson. Boy, did he elevate. Guyton looking to penetrate a bit. Lewis dealing baseline, bumped by Davis. Tom Rucker's got the foul to the baseline.
So Indiana's not hitting an outside shot like they did in the first half. So the way to overcome that is driving to the basket, trying to get as close as you can. Watch this block by Richardson. Times it well. No reason for a big guy to foul the guard. Just wait till the ball leaves his hand and then deflect it away, and that's what Richardson did. There's Dick Bennett. He does a great job in getting his teams ready.
Wisconsin leading by 2. We are second half in Bloomington. Lewis looking for room. Boy, again, good position defense at all 5 positions defensively by Wisconsin. These kids work at it. Lewis, oh, beautiful spin move. Was it too good to be true? Now they had a hold on the play. I thought they might get it for a travel. It was that good a move, but they call a holding foul coming up on Wisconsin. Watch it again.
The foul came before. Right there's the foul before the shot on Boone.
Good call on the foul. Third personal on Boone. Now that's 7 already on Wisconsin with 12:05 to go in the game, and Michael Lewis at the free throw line.
And that was the difference in the first half. Indiana had 10 more points from the foul line than the Badgers. That's another $50 for the Indiana University General Scholarship Fund from Union Planters Bank. This season, Union Planters will donate $50 for every free throw that the Hoosiers make.
Only 1 field goal in this entire second half for Indiana. And as I mentioned, we're almost 8 minutes into the second half. Nonetheless, because the Hoosiers play a decent brand of defense last, they're still in a tie game.
Well, it's been momentum favoring Wisconsin, though, and you can hear these Indiana fans. They don't like the way the tone this game is taken.
And Kirk Penny from Auckland, New Zealand with a tray, and Wisconsin by 3. Foul coming up here. Foul's going to be on Kirk Penny.
I mentioned Penny was from New Zealand. They asked the Wisconsin players, Wayne, what the greatest invention of the 20th century was. And his answer was
the three-point
line. Oh, my gosh. He showed you why there. He likes it back there. Huh?
Not some kind of video game.
The three-point line.
Yeah, the three-point line was a huge addition to his game. Yeah, not Now, when he steps back there, he's going to get credit for 3 instead of just 1 or 2, I should say. Michael Lewis just up on his season average, and 1 out of 2 at the line. Indiana also has not taken advantage of its opportunities at the free throw line. Later stages first half, early going second half. Not like they were. They hit 10 of their first 12 free throws of the night.
Richardson really giving Vershaw some trouble outside.
Dick Bennett wanted a hold on Richardson, didn't get the call, and on that turnover forced by Richardson, we take a break. 11:31 to go in the game. You're watching Big Ten basketball. 10 curtain raiser between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin down by as many as 17 in the first half of play, down by 11 at halftime, has dominated defensively in the second half, and they hold the lead at the moment.
Take a look at the numbers in the second half.
1 for 8 for Indiana, and Wisconsin moved up to 50%. They're back in the game.
And a bevy of turnovers in the second half for Indiana as well. Well, they've only gotten 8 shots off. Luke Jimenez. Both of these teams tonight have worked hard on the defensive end. Almost 9 minutes gone by, second half. Good entry into Haston. And boy, when they've gotten the ball down low to the big man, good things have happened for Indiana. That time a foul. Coming up on Charlie Wills, his third.
Let's watch Haston inside there on the left. He uses his body to keep the position. The high lob pass is the best one in. And he gets fouled on the way to the hoop.
Most of the scoring in the second half for Indiana has come at the free throw line. Haston adds 2 more. He has 11 points in the game. Tied at 51. 11 straight up to go in this one. Boone, beautiful double clutch. Wouldn't go. Boone gets it back and bangs it home.
Stayed right with it. Good second effort. And Boone goes up high for the rebound.
See the importance. It's not how high you jump, but how quick you can get back up.
Corey could block that shot. It was in the basket.
Wisconsin by 2. Guyton's been quiet for a while.
Wisconsin just makes it tough for her to run your offense. Indiana's having trouble getting the picks they want. Now the ball on the opposite side of A.J. Guyton.
Time winding down, shot clock. Michael Lewis on the follow. No, but a foul.
Just good individual effort that time by Lewis. There wasn't much there. He had to get a shot before the shot clock expired, and then able to follow his own shot. Here he goes, the shot fake. Now he stays right after it. Knows it's going to be a little left off. Can't get that second one to go. He's disappointed.
Roy Boone picks up his 4th personal foul. Already 9 team fouls on Wisconsin, so they are 1 away from the double bonus. Boone has the lead. Trevon Davis comes on. And he makes good on the second. Indiana and Wisconsin tied at 53, just about halfway through second half. Wills to Kowski in the lane. Got a foul coming up here on the reach.
Now Lewis came over to help that time against the much bigger Andy Kowski. Picked up the foul.
Well, they called it on Jeffrey Newton. His second. Watch it again. There it is, right there on the slap, apparently. 5 team fouls for Indiana. You wonder also about the attrition of the foul difficulty for Wisconsin.
You may see that before this game is up.
Up high, Kowski for the rebound. Steal by Newton. Recaptured by Dwayne, and he traveled on the play. Indiana basketball tied at 53. 9.5 to go. Guyton. Up for grabs at the baseline. A pile up. A held ball, and it's going to go to the Hoosiers.
I'd rather see that in the Packer-Colts game, Wayne, than you would the Badger-Hoosier game.
Exactly.
But that's the way these teams are built. They're going to scrap for that ball. That's a possession right there to whoever comes up with that ball first, and that's why you see 5 guys on the floor.
Alternating possession belongs to Indiana.
And Newton trying to get position there on Finney.
It's amazing. 1 field goal is all she wrote for the Hoosiers in the first 11 minutes of this second half.
Oh, good pass.
Haston, great interior feed to Richardson, and the foul given up on the play.
It's tough for a big guy. Their first thought is to score. But when he saw the double team, he reached out with that right hand. Watch this. And makes a bounce pass. Easiest pass for a big man to catch is that bounce pass coming up toward it. And Penny draws the foul.
Another example, John, of the unselfishness of this Indiana team more than any other team in recent years. It truly is a team where the sum of the whole is better than any single part.
That's exactly right. In the big games, Guyton's been the big scorer. In playing against some unranked teams, it's the other players who have led the scoring, and Guyton has found that's the easiest way for the team to do well.
Hoosiers now beginning to put in on their free throws, and they've got the lead by 2.
A good quickness by Dewaney, trying to get away from Newton.
And Dewaney eventually gives it up. Technical foul on Dewaney. No question, he walked toward the other end of the floor, lost his cool. When the official asked for the ball, he just dropped it on the floor by him. Watch this again.
There's the action.
Ooh, that did look like it went off Newton.
It off Newton's foot.
Yeah, it sure did.
And that's what upset Dewaney. Still no reason to draw a technical foul. That really hurts your team.
Michael Lewis puts in on the free throw. It looked like Dewaney had a legitimate right, but you're not going to change the call, whether you're right or wrong.
And that will count as a personal foul. It gives him 3 now on the night. Let's watch it again. Watch Newton's left foot there. Boom, there it goes. Dewaney.
Did Dewaney touch it here, though?
Reaching for the ball. I mean, Rucker is right on the call.
I don't think there's any way he must have touched it.
There's no, he would have seen it right there.
There's no way Tom Rucker could have missed that call. I'm sure that Dewaney touched it last. On that replay, you could see it. Guyton trying to force a pass inside, deflected away. Trevon Davis on the run. In solo on the drive, scored in a field, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Like collision afterwards, both Davis and Richardson down.
Richardson picks up his 3rd personal, score the field goal, he'll go to the line. Trevon Davis with a burst for his first 2 points of the night. Davis slow to get up.
Like he hit his hip there. Let's watch it. Boy, a scramble for the ball. Davis comes away with it. Now he's going to lead the fast break. To his right, his strong hand. There's the bump right there. Loses his balance. He did hit part of his body hit the soft support, the cushion there on the back backstop, but part of him hit the wood floor too.
Indeed. Davis all right though. He'll shoot at the line.
Hey, when you know you're going to the line, it doesn't hurt quite as much.
Not as much, does it?
I think I can shoot this, coach.
Yeah.
Just put me in there.
Haston the rebound off the missed free throw. Now, we mentioned in the open that points would be hard to come by. They indeed have been hard to come by, especially for Indiana in the second half. Hoosiers led by 11 points at halftime. Jeffrey Newton with those long arms operating baseline.
Got where he wanted to, but a little strong on the shot.
True freshman in his first Big Ten game. Boom. Here's Davis. Coming up on 8 minutes left to go in this one. Kirk Penny off the screen. Should have shot it quickly. First shot trying to drop it to the back door, and a foul committed. Foul is on Haston, I believe. His 3rd personal. 7 on the Hoosiers now. Boy, both of these teams not afraid to throw the ball inside, not afraid to pass it inside. Good interior passing at times by both clubs. Davis misses another free throw.
The last foul on Guyton, they say. That's his first.
They did change it to Guyton, didn't they? Got a foul here. Foul is on Trevon Davis. And everything is a two-shot foul now for Indiana.
It's just a big, rough, tough, physical game. I mean, this is Big Ten basketball. And these teams love to play defense. There's going to be some bumping, and that's the reason for the foul. The kids are just playing hard, and that's the way the coaches want them to play.
Michael Lewis now has hit 5 consecutive free throws. And 6 out of 8 in this second half. Changes for Dick Bennett and company. 7:57 left to go in the game.
It's unusual for Lewis. He likes to get to that line. He's missed several tonight.
Badgers set it up offensively, trailing now by 3. Mark Bershaw. Kirk Penny in among the trees, traveled on the play.
So he did a nice job to get open, but then he couldn't finish before he traveled.
7:37 left to go in this one. Indiana back on top, leading by 3. This is Big Ten basketball. 5 Indiana with the advantage, and I'll tell you what, it's been tough sledding in the second half. Wisconsin has shot pretty well, 8 of 16, obviously 50%, but Indiana just 1 for 10. And the foul trouble, we talked about the attrition that this might cause on the Wisconsin side, and you get a look at it right here. Mike Kelly's been out much of this second half. He's back in the ball game now. In addition to the people you saw on that graphic, Dwayne also has 3 personal fouls. But Kelly sat a long stretch in this second half after picking up his 4th personal foul.
They match Kelly up with Lewis. They put Dwayne now on A.J. Guyton.
Lewis 10 of 13 at the free throw line here tonight. 8 to go on the shot clock. Washington trying to force the pass inside, deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Newton, and it'll belong to Wisconsin.
The advantage of playing the good defense is that shot clock becomes your benefactor. As that clock runs down, teams do offensively things they wouldn't normally do. Indiana forced that pass, it goes out of bounds.
Kelly got a screen from Bershaw. Kirk Penny, guarded by Lynn Washington. Bershaw out on the floor. Pass deflected by Haston, picked up by Newton. There's some tough matchups on the front line at the moment now for Wisconsin that are making it very difficult for them to get into their offense and score effectively. Indiana's done a good job of switching up personnel to take advantage of some of the talents that they have as a team. Hoosiers by 3. Under 6.5 to go for the game. 7 to go on the shot clock. Yep.
Again, it goes down, and then
A.J. Guyton splashes a tray.
well, he bailed Indiana out that time. I mean, there was no offense because of the good Wisconsin defense, but a 3-point bomb gives Indiana the lead.
Kelly. Indiana leading by 6. Ten to go on the shot clock for Wisconsin. Penny from the outside, a force. Haston up high for the rebound. Indiana basketball. Crucial juncture in this game here now.
Well, you can feel the momentum now switching back to Indiana. They've done it from the foul line.
Going to belong to Indiana, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Wisconsin as Haston tried to make his move baseline.
Shot blocked by the Badgers, but it went out of bounds before Wisconsin could get to it. So a good defensive play doesn't give Wisconsin the ball this time.
A.J. Guyton resets the floor. Started by Dwayne. 7 to go on the shot clock. Guyton got Dwayne into the air and hits on the jumper.
Boy, tough shot. He never really got his body to face the basket. but still, with that shooter's touch, gets it to roll in.
A 3-point field goal and a 2-pointer by A.J. Guyton in the last 30 seconds has elevated Indiana to a 63-55 lead with 5:02 left to go in the game. Take a look at A.J. in action.
Moves without the ball. Right up on Duane. He uses advantage of the screen there from Washington. Now it's one-on-one. Fakes to the right. Comes back to the left. A little tougher to score once you get that defender up, though. Duane has to avoid the foul. Guyton knows he's got a free shot.
So A.J. Guyton with 25 points of the game. This 30-second timeout brought to you by McAllister Machinery, your local Caterpillar dealer.
See, Indiana's outshot their opponent 10 of 11 games. The one they didn't against Indiana State, Indiana loses that game.
Indiana on a 12-2 run. Hard to say run when the 12-2 advantage came over 5 minutes and 7 seconds, but that's a run in a game like this.
It is. You're correct. That's a run.
It just took a little longer than most runs. It was more like a crawl. Penny out front. Coming up on 4 minutes to go. Boy, Wisconsin really laboring offensively now. Indiana has pulled away to an 8-point advantage. 4.5 to go. Hastings backdoor Guyton, great cut, good feed, didn't finish.
Boy, everything there except it rolled off the rim.
It's not supposed to do that, is it?
Now, that happens. Oh, look at that move by Boone.
Boone spinning into traffic, lost the handle on it. A.J. Guyton back the other way. Wisconsin hasn't scored since the 8:47 mark, and there's a look at the run by Indiana.
It's the crawl, 12-2. It's still a 10-point advantage. It just took over 5 minutes to do it.
It gives you an indication of the kind of defense being played out there tonight.
Both teams, both coaches pleased. They're probably upset about the turnovers, but on the other hand, you got to credit the other defense with forcing.
Lewis trying to get baseline. Boy, you hardly ever see anyone get baseline. Lewis able to spin back to the middle of the floor, and he connects on the fadeaway. Nicely done.
Well, it was so hard for Indiana to score to start this second half, and now, just like early in the first half, the baskets seem to become a lot easier.
I believe a hold coming up there as Vershaw tried to get to the baseline. The foul is on Lynn Washington.
Dick Bennett pacing that Badger bench.
Boy, Wisconsin will be greatly tested in the opening week of this Big Ten season, playing here at Indiana, where they haven't won in almost a well, I mean, 2 decades, right? 23 years. All right, now they go home and they take on nationally ranked Illinois on Saturday. Take a look at this. Meanwhile, Vershaw able to connect. And a timeout called on the floor. Indiana's lead is 8 points, 3:43 left to go in this one. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+. Well, John, you mentioned points hard to come by for Indiana at the outset of the second half. In the first 10 minutes of the half, Wisconsin had a 21-8 advantage. Since then, Indiana 10-2 run. Now it's time to announce our power player of the game, brought to you by Synergy PSI, where energy comes to life. A.J. Guyton, there's a look at his log thus far.
He got 19 of those points in the first half, just 6 here in the second, but they were important. He hit that 3, and then he followed up with a 2-pointer just as the shot clock expired, and really got Indiana back into this lead. It's now 8 points for the Hoosiers.
And he hit a couple of key shots, John, just a few minutes ago. A 3-pointer and then a 2-point field goal, a nice up and under type move in the lane that really helped to get the Hoosiers ignited. And they have built as big as a 10-point lead in the second half. They currently enjoy an 8-point advantage. Pressure in the backcourt now, or at least presence in the backcourt by Wisconsin. They'd like to put on the trap on Guyton. Lewis gets it across just in time to Lynn Washington. 3.5 left. Indiana leading by 8. Quick turn on the baseline for Hastings, wouldn't go. Kowski the rebound.
See, Wisconsin's not in a position. They want to try to score quickly, and that's tough against the Hoosier defense. In the end, they want to slow it down when they get the ball on offense.
Penny for 3. Freshman well off the mark. A brick there. And a foul on the rebound battle.
That'll be it for Kelly.
Kelly fouls out with 3:07 to go.
Well, he had to try to create something, though, and what he does best is steal that basketball to give Wisconsin a chance to score.
Let's take a look at some other scores brought to you by ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Michigan State as expected at home, 10th ranked team in the nation over Penn State, and then UConn was upset by Notre Dame in the Big East, 2nd ranked UConn. Well, Notre Dame started Ohio State's season off with a huge upset in Columbus, didn't they?
Yeah, gave Indiana a heck of a game here and got that game into overtime before Indiana won it.
Jay Guyton missing on his first, he'll have another. A.J. Guyton now 5 out of 7 at the free throw line. Missed them both.
Very unusual. He's the guy Indiana wants to have the ball late in the game.
3 minutes straight up to go. Vershaw looking for quick offense inside. Penny elevates. Long arm of Lynn Washington, the rebound of the foul committed by Bryant. John Bryant's 4th personal.
Again, Indiana will go to the line, and they haven't got many field goals in the second half, but the bottom line is you got to have more points than the other guy when the clock expires. That's what Indiana's trying to do. They'll do it from the line, it looks like, in today's game.
Mike Kelly had a seat on the bench with foul trouble as he fouled out of the game with just 2 points and missed most of the second half with foul difficulty. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, but for a while Wisconsin didn't miss him as they put the clamps on Indiana in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Penny now leaves and Duane comes in. And take a look at the disparity at the free throw line.
28 for Indiana, just 10 for Wisconsin, an 18-point difference.
The Hoosiers taking full advantage with those makes. 10-point lead for the Hoosiers. Duane.
Wisconsin needs some threes right now. That's why Duane was behind the line.
And he cranks up a long one and hits. 3-pointer by Duane, his 4th tray of the game. 7-point lead Indiana, coming up on 2 minutes left to be played. Lewis driving. Haste in the foul. And Newton tied up by Duane on the rebound. And it'll belong to Wisconsin.
Boy, 2 good looks by Indiana. I mean, that's the kind of offensive rebound you want, right off the top of the rim, and Haston missed it. Let's watch it now. Lewis on a good drive. Haston can't get it to go.
Vershaw inside. Rebound backhand. Duane. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. Kowski. Here's Duane with Newton on him. Throws it away. Stolen by Lewis. Indiana by 7. Looking to put a nail in the coffin of the Badgers here tonight. Foul committed by Duane who stopped the clock.
Wisconsin needs the change of possessions now, and they've kind of forced Indiana to make some free throws. Even though it's Duane's 4th foul, they need to stop the clock.
Bryant, Duane, and Boone all have 4 personal fouls. Kelly is already fouled out of the game. And Jeffrey Newton to the free throw line, and they've got high hopes for him here in Bloomington, don't they?
Good looking player. You saw some quick moves he made in the game today. He's having a little trouble from the free throw line. He's only hitting about 32%. He was an 85% free throw shooter in high school, but has dropped below 30% now with those 2 misses.
And a quick timeout taken by Dick Bennett of the Wisconsin Badgers. They're still down by 7 with 1:34 left to be played in the basketball game. This 30-second timeout is brought to you by Union Planters Bank.
There's the career steal list for the Wisconsin Badgers. Mike Kelly currently in 3rd, and it's got a great chance to move up to #1 past Michael Finley and Tracy Webster before his career's over.
Michael Finley, a great player. Tracy Webster, a great defensive player at Wisconsin. Of course, their basketball history. Well, as I mentioned, a tough week for Wisconsin because they open here at Indiana, nationally ranked Hoosiers, in a place they haven't won in 23 years, and then head home to take on the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Illinois will play tomorrow night at home against Ohio State, and so we're going to get a look right away at least Dick Bennett will get an idea of where he stands against some of the top clubs in the Big Ten.
Indiana takes off to Penn State for a Saturday game the next Tuesday at Michigan State for a big contest for the Hoosiers.
We'll find out a lot about the Hoosiers in that game. Will's missing from three-point line, and Michael Lewis advancing. Lewis trying to work some clock now.
Pulls it out. That was a smart play. Haston was open under the basket, but you try that pass to get stolen. Don't want that to happen.
Roy Boone fouls out with a minute 14 to go. Wisconsin with just one timeout left, so really their only recourse to stop the clock is to get a foul. Do it one more time with a timeout.
That's 5 on Boone, but Dick Bennett knows he's going to put Penny in. Well, may go to Kowski now as well. But just trying to take some time here. You're allowed 60 seconds. He'll take as much of that as he can. So Penny's coming in for the Boone, who fouled out, so he comes in right away. Kowski will have to wait till after the first free throw.
Second free throw by Lewis. Should say the first is good, and second one coming up. See, Dick Bennett took so long with that substitution, I thought Lewis had already shot a free throw. The kids from Wisconsin have played hard here tonight, but this has been for them a house of horrors over the years. Lewis 1 out of 2 at the line. Wisconsin trailed by as many as 17 on a couple of occasions in that first half. They had a 2-point lead in the second half of this ball game. Vershaw in close. Vershaw on the foul won't go. And he has had a quiet night here tonight offensively.
That's Indiana's pattern on defense. They'll try to find out who the best scorer is on the opponent's team, and they'll create a defense to stop that guy. This time was Vershaw, and let the second, third, and fourth scores take up the load. Vershaw below his average tonight.
Wisconsin has taken a 53-51 lead with 10:29 to go in the game. Trevon Davis back into the contest, but Indiana, since about midway through the second half, regained control, put together another run, or a crawl as we said. Outscored the Badgers 12-2 over a 5-minute and 7-second period of time. And were able to get back in control of the game, leading by 10 on a couple of occasions here in the second half. And now their lead is 7, make it 6.
I mentioned the half, Wayne. The numbers showed Wisconsin would have 62 points. They are right at it.
Yeah.
And we're under a minute to go. Let's see.
Trap in the backcourt forces the turnover. 48.2 remaining. And certainly the kids from Madison don't think this one's over yet. In comes the three-point shooter, Kirk Penny. Trevon Davis leaves.
Substitution by Dick Bennett. Bob Knight thought he originally called a timeout. So Wisconsin's got the ball. They're down 6. That's 2 3-point shots away.
Sweeney for 3. Not that time. Bryant in among the trees for the rebound. Vershaw to the right hand. Nicely done.
Now Bennett uses the final timeout to stop the clock. So the lead down to 4.
32.1 seconds remaining. That's the last timeout now for Wisconsin, John. And well, I tell you what, they've hung around and hung around all night, haven't they?
Just talked about Vershaw, a little under his average, but he knew right what to do there. Spin to that left shoulder, and the soft bank shot, immediate timeout. So Wisconsin will go with the press now.
32.1 remaining. Wisconsin on the road trying to hang in there, and here comes the ATA High Flyers.
Now watch Vershaw there on your left. He's back to the basket, fakes right, comes to the left. It's a little double team there, but softly in off the glass.
Bershaw with 14 points, but it doesn't seem like he's had as prominent a role in this ball game as we're used to seeing.
So he has gotten to his average of just over 11.
But John, there were long stretches there where he really wasn't a part of what they were doing offensively. It didn't appear, at least not from a scoring standpoint.
Wisconsin goes for the steal.
30-second timeout called by Indiana. They couldn't get it in.
Lewis avoids the turnover there. But Wisconsin will try to make the pressure. If they can't get the ball, they have to foul right away.
Coming up on ESPN Plus this weekend, a Saturday triple header. Most of you will see Illinois at Wisconsin at noon, then Michigan at Purdue follows. These are Eastern times. Indiana, Penn State, and many of you in the Indiana region will see that one coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday. So triple header of basketball from ESPN Plus this weekend. Penn State, much improved team, John. I saw them early this season. They struggled with ranked competition, and again, as we showed you earlier, got beat at Michigan State tonight. But I dare say a lot of people are going to lose when playing as the visitor at Michigan State this season. Here's the trap in the backcourt once again. Hoosiers struggling to get it across. Lewis, was he blocked on the play? No foul. It's just out of bounds to Indiana.
Shot clock is off now. Long pass that time by Indiana on the press. Exactly what Wisconsin wanted. But it goes off a Badger. Now Indiana has the ball at half court.
The lead is 4 for the Hoosiers. Lewis fouled right away. Yep. And he has been busy at the line tonight. Michael Lewis is 11 of 15 at the free throw line tonight. At one point, he had made more free throws than Wisconsin had taken in the game.
And he's disappointed that he's missed the 4 that he has, really.
Lewis, 17 points.
There's the second half. You see the free throws. 8-point advantage for Indiana, but they've missed 10 here in this second half.
His career high at the line was 16 out of 20. And Lewis again, now 12 of 16. Michael Lewis puts in on a pair.
Indiana now calls timeout to set their defense. Now with a 6-point lead, only 22.6 left. They need to know what to do, which is even if they score a 3-pointer, get that ball out of bounds, get it in, and know that they're going to try to swat it away, so hang on to the ball.
Wisconsin out of timeouts and maybe running out of time, although they have hung in admirably here with their defense.
There's a look at the other guy that A.J. Guyton went by today. That's Damon Bailey from Bedford, Indiana, just south of Bloomington here.
A lot of alums in the building, including John Laskowski sitting to my right.
I'll tell you, when that Big Ten season starts, Wayne, a lot of the guys like to come back, check on the Hoosiers, see how they're doing, especially on the weekend games.
22.6 remaining. Wisconsin on the inbound. Pressure in the backcourt by Indiana. One thing Coach Knight doesn't want are fouls here, but he wants to contest a little bit, at least from a position standpoint.
Wisconsin trying to stay behind the 3-point line. Jemin is right up on Bryant.
Bryant, the force, rims out. Time winding down to this game, and a foul with 4.1 seconds remaining. Bershaw committed it. Mark Bershaw's second personal foul.
Well, you can see both of these teams are going to give the rest of the league trouble on the defensive end. They're going to take them out of the game they like to play. They're going to keep them in a little lower scoring game than they like. I mean, Indiana comes in the game scoring 81. They're going to end up at 70 or 72. And when you play good defense, you're never really out of the game.
Haston missing on the free throw. Makes good on the second. A little insurance for the Hoosiers, who lead by 7. Dwayne lets go for 3 and hits. So score the field goal, and the final score, Indiana 71, Wisconsin 67. Dwayne with 5 trays here tonight, 17 points. It's again the final score. Indiana 71 to 67. Our triple header on ESPN Plus Saturday.
Illinois at Wisconsin at noon Eastern time, followed by Michigan, Purdue at 2:30. And then the nightcap, Indiana at Penn State, for those of you looking in the Indiana region, 8 o'clock Eastern time. For John Laskowski, Wayne Larrabee saying so long from Bloomington again.
You know, you can't run away and hide from them. It didn't make them any difference, you know, what the score was in the first half. They started playing when they taped their ankles in there earlier tonight, and they started playing then, and they didn't quit till just a few minutes ago. And boy, that made it really tough. You know, the big thing, we got a great lead, and all of a sudden you look around and it's real easy. You know, well, we got that, now it's real easy. We're up 15 points, and we never ever got that intensity back until maybe here the last, you know, 5, 6, 8 minutes of the ball game. And that was a tough goal.
We'll talk a little bit about AJ. AJ started the game obviously very hot. I don't know exactly. I didn't see a stat sheet, but I think he had like 16 or 18 points to start the game. He was really driving the ball. Obviously, he knew they weren't going to let him have that jump shot. In the second half, he was trying to drive it to the basket, but they obviously made some adjustments.
Well, I think we beat a dead horse there when we start talking about their defense. That's all we talked about before the ball game, how tough it was going to be defensively. And a lot of that was, you know, it's not brain surgery or anything out there. It's when you play somebody like this, it's just executing. It's sharp cuts, it's good screens, and it's intensity, and it's hard nosed. You know, you just get tough, and we were that way for a while. Then we get a big old soft pillow out there, and we lay down on it, and they're still playing, and then AJ's not going to get any shots, and that's pretty much the way it was.
Well, you know, as you talked about, we got the big lead. We made a couple turnovers going into halftime that obviously irritated Coach. That Lewis throws it away as Dane Fife looks away. And then we come out in the second half. They outscore us 15-2 in the first, I think, 5 minutes. And our first field goal doesn't come until the 13-minute mark. So it became very tough. And Coach talks about that first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half really sets the tone, and it really did.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to put a Band-Aid on that at halftime. You know, I mean, what can you do? You talk to them, you tell them, you show them, you write it down. You know, you send them a letter, you know, at a telephone, you can call them on a telephone, whatever. However many ways you can communicate. They hear you, but sometimes they don't listen. And then, you know, on the other side, that other guy over there, he's just winding his clock a little bit tighter. And it was just we played some beautiful basketball. Gosh, it was some of the best basketball from both teams throughout the game. And then, but then once again, it really helps when you're at home. And AJ got us a couple then finally when he got loose, and Michael Lewis, and you know, and we picked the thing up and got ourselves a win. But boy, that was a tough one. And you know, everybody in the Big Ten, no matter what your record is up to this point, that doesn't make any difference because you all start even. See? You all start even, and after a couple weeks, there's going to be some with a couple wins and some with a couple losses. And boy, to drop one at home would be a bad news.
We got to go to State College in Pennsylvania next. Talk a little bit about, real quickly, on going on the road in the Big Ten.
Well, if it was this tough here at home, I don't know whether I want to go on the road in the Big Ten. Man, that's a big old new barn to play in out there, and it's you know, it's supposedly tough to shoot in. And so, but we played well there, and I was just before the ball game. They're playing Michigan State, and I was watching them a little bit, and they're you know, they're a good ball club too. They're even like everybody else. So nobody ever takes Indiana lightly. So it'll be tough.
Well, we'll see you in Pennsylvania, Coach. Thanks for coming out. Back to you, Laz.
All right, we come back. We'll have our final stats as well as look in on tonight's press conference. Laskowski and Ted Kitchell as Indiana moves to 1-0. It was a tough one too, as you'll see when we get to the final stats. That many field goals in that second half for Indiana. Right now though, let's revisit our fueling factors, brought to you by Fast Max Convenience Stores. If it's got to be fast, it's got to be Max. Fast break points for Indiana. They didn't get a lot.
I was
know
going to
that.
say that they didn't get many. In
Not a
the
lot.
second half, they only got 4 field goals. 4.
In fact, the guys in the truck are still trying to
Well-
find some fast break points. That's why I don't have the stat up there.
Were Dick Bennett and his boys playing some defense out there or what? Foul trouble was obviously very important. Indiana ended up shooting 49 free throws tonight, 32 in the second half, 21 of 32 in the second half. So foul trouble was a real problem for Wisconsin and Dick Bennett.
And the good news is Indiana didn't get in foul trouble. They were able to keep most of the big guys in the game. Time now for the Union Federal stats, brought to you by Union Federal Bank, Indiana owned and Indiana operated.
As you take a look, you can see Indiana shot 45% from the game, but the real difference, we talked about it before the game, is Indiana getting to the free throw line. I'm sure this is something that will not make Coach Bennett very happy when he sees the differential here. Indiana shooting 49 free throws. Wisconsin, probably a bigger, stronger Wisconsin team, only shooting 14 free throws. How about that? Wisconsin gets the better of them on the boards. Turnovers, both teams about the same. You can see the bench points. Wisconsin really did a great job scoring 19 points off their bench. A lot of that coming from Mark Vershaw, who came in and did an outstanding job. Look at Indiana's bench, only had 2 points. Going to have to get better bench production from guys coming off that bench if they expect to win in the Big Ten.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at some of your internet questions. Also, we'll look back in on the press conference.
I'm going to have to apologize. I've been fighting a bad cough and cold, and of course this game did the rest of it, so my answer is going to be very brief because I don't have much. I thought we just played with a bit more passion. I was disappointed in our intensity level to start the game. We appeared to be a bit intimidated, and in the second half we played with much greater passion.
Could you talk about the difference? Guyton at the first of the game seemed to be taking things over, and then when you guys pretty much put the clamps on him when you made the big run, what a difference it is to take Guyton away from this team.
Well, he got off to a great start, and it just appeared that Kelly was unable to keep up with him. And I think one of the differences, we've got a better matchup in the second half. Both Dewaney and Boone played him actually better than Kelly did.